I was supposed to be going home. Just a simple drive back from a friend's house, a route I'd driven 100 times before. It was late, and the sky had that inky blackness to it, the kind that almost feels solid, like if you reached out, you'd touch it. The roads were empty, just me and my headlights cutting through the night. I knew the way, but out of habit, I put on the GPS, if only to hear another voice in the car, something to break the silence. At first it was routine: turn left, go straight, merge onto the highway, but then a voice cut through the calm. The familiar GPS voice, only this time it sounded off, slightly distorted like an old cassette tape warped by the heat. It said, "Take the next right." I knew that wasn't part of the way home, but I didn't question it. It's strange, thinking back now, why I didn't even hesitate. I just followed, as if something beyond me had taken over, and I was just along for the ride. The right turn led me down a dark, narrow road I'd never seen before. A road that seemed to disappear into the trees. No streetlights, no signs, nothing. Just darkness pressing in from both sides. The trees seemed to close in, leaning over the road as if they were watching, waiting. The GPS went silent, but I kept going, following the road as it twisted and turned deeper into nowhere. Then, after what felt like hours, the voice came back. "You're almost there," it whispered, and there was something in the way it said it, something that made my skin crawl. It wasn't just giving directions. It was expectant, like it was leading me to something. My hands gripped the wheel tighter. I wanted to turn around, but I couldn't. Every time I tried to slow down, my foot felt heavier, pressing down on the gas, as if my own body was betraying me. Finally, I saw it. Up ahead, a clearing in the trees, bathed in the pale, ghostly light of the moon. The road opened up, and there it was. An old cemetery, hidden away from everything, the headstones scattered like forgotten memories. The GPS chimed again. "You have arrived at your destination," and then it went silent. Completely silent. I should have turned back. I should have driven out of there, forgotten the whole thing. But I couldn't. There was something pulling me, a force I couldn't fight, guiding me forward. I got out of the car, the cold air wrapping around me like a shroud. My breath fogged in front of me, hanging in the air, almost frozen. I walked forward, my feet crunching over dead leaves, the sound too loud, echoing in the stillness. And then I saw it. A headstone off to the side, slightly tilted, almost hidden behind a gnarled old tree. There was something wrong about it, something that made my heart pound in my chest, but I couldn't look away. I moved closer, each step heavier than the last, like the ground itself was trying to hold me back. And then I saw the name. My name, carved into the stone clear as day. My full name. The date etched beneath it. Today's date. I stumbled back, my mind reeling, trying to make sense of it. This couldn't be real. It was some kind of sick joke, some prank. But as I stood there, staring at my own name on that cold stone, I felt something shift. The world around me seemed to warp, like I was seeing it through a fog. Everything twisting and distorting. And then I heard it. A soft whisper, like leaves rustling in the wind, but there was no breeze. "You're right on time," it said, the voice coming from everywhere and nowhere. I turned, scanning the darkness, but there was no one. Just the rows of headstones, silent and unmoving, watching me. I looked back at the headstone, at my name, and that's when I noticed something else, something carved beneath the date. It was a single word. "Welcome." My heart was pounding so hard I thought it would burst. I turned, desperate to get back to the car, but the trees, they had closed in, the road gone, swallowed up by darkness. I was trapped, surrounded by the dead, by the weight of my own grave. I stumbled forward, my hands shaking, reaching out blindly, trying to find my way, but the darkness was so thick, so heavy, pressing down on me. And then the ground gave way, crumbling beneath me, and I was falling into nothingness, into a cold, suffocating void. When I hit the ground, I was back in the cemetery, but everything was different. The air was colder, the The silence heavier, the headstones. They were watching me. I could feel their gaze, feel the weight of their stares pressing down on me. And then I realized I wasn't alone. There were shadows all around me, figures moving in the darkness, silent and still, their eyes glinting in the moonlight. They were waiting, waiting for me. I backed away, my heart pounding, my mind racing. But no matter where I turned, they were there, closing in, surrounding me. I tried to scream, to call out, but no sound came. I was trapped, caught in a nightmare I couldn't escape. And then I heard it again. The GPS voice, distorted, echoing in the silence. Recalculating, destination. The words sent a chill down my spine, a cold, hollow dread settling over me. I realized then that there was no way out, no escape. I was lost, trapped in a twisted, distorted world that was neither here nor there. And as I stood there staring into the darkness, I knew I had been led here, brought to this place for a reason. This was my destination, my final stop, my grave. And now I can feel it, feel the cold creeping over me, the darkness closing in, pulling me down, down into the earth, into the cold, silent embrace of my own grave. The shadows are waiting, their eyes glinting in the darkness, their voices whispering in the wind. I am here at my final destination, and there's no way out.